Hello to all. Welcome to Divas of Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this absolutely magical, robust lifestyle show. I want to take a moment and thank each one of our listeners today as you listen to this podcast on the many different platforms. You are in for a very special show, and I just want to thank each and every one of you because I am so grateful for each of you. And with that, I have with me my incredible returning diva, Lidia, Lady Apona. And her and I are going to chat about Reiki for deep healing. Oh, wow. I know this is going to be a truly magical show. So, with that, Lydia, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
Well, hello, Joyce, and everyone joining us. It's a real honor and pleasure to be on your show today. Some of you may be familiar with me, but if you're not, I consider myself a Renaissance woman. I'm a high performance wellness coach and founder of aponahealing.com. I bring together my 30 years of professional passion, expertise, and wisdom in holistic healing into my four pathways for every stage of personal development so you can heal, grow, and evolve, and ultimately reclaim your sovereignty and live a centered, connected, and conscious life. I became involved in holistic healing through my own incredible journey, starting at the age of 10, when I decided I was no longer going to live in chronic pain, and I wanted to have a life of true health and well-being. So I started a journey to heal my own chronic illnesses that I was born with. And then I was guided in dreams to receive and then eventually learn Reiki for myself. And then those dreams also guided me to start my professional practice after I came out of my cocoon of deep healing in my late 20s. So I love Reiki. I've given probably thousands of hands-on and long-distance individual Reiki sessions. And I do teach Reiki, but my calling really is to offer one-on-one or group Reiki sendings. And it's been so phenomenal in my life. I can't even imagine my life now without giving myself Reiki and sharing Reiki. And I'm always on now. I'm always channeling energy. So it's like my crown chakra tingles constantly when I know the energy is coming through. But I'd love to share a little bit more about that. Any questions you have for me about Reiki or your own experiences with Reiki, Joyce?
Oh, I mean, we I'll just let you kind of continue and then I'll kind of come in too with an experience I've had with my horse on a distance Reiki. And so yes, it is just incredible because I heard you say you can do the hands-on, you can do it distantly too, and I've experienced it distantly with my horse. So I will just kind of come in with that as we get into your talking about Reiki and sharing with our listeners all about Reiki for deep healing. So I will just let you continue at the moment, Lydia.
Sure, absolutely. And I could go on and on, so you'll have to rein me in on my Reiki talk. But what is Reiki? So Reiki is a Japanese healing art that channels energy through the body, through the hands. And the word Reiki, Reiki, is a Japanese word for universality, spiritual consciousness, universal energy. So when we are talking about the modality of Reiki, what we're talking about is utilizing everyone's natural ability to channel energy. So we're just enhancing and facilitating the natural flow of energy that moves through us and through every living being. So the Reiki practitioner is not using their own energy and they are not using their intention. So these are very fundamental pillars of channeling Reiki effectively. The beautiful thing about Reiki, as I mentioned, is that every living being already has universal energy moving through them. This is our life force, or we call it our core energy. So when we're doing Reiki, all we're doing is simply adding energy, as I mentioned, to enhance and facilitate the natural strength and flow and function of energy in your body. And the energy in your body will receive the Reiki and know how best to utilize it. So we can focus on specific conditions, but we always try to do a balanced treatment so that there's the greatest opportunity for the energy to flow throughout the body. And then the body, mind, spirit will decide how best to use that energy. So it really is an initiation into what I call Taoist non-attachment, where you channel energy without intention other than to show up and help. Obviously, that's what we're there to do. And perhaps place the hands on areas that the person or the animal or even the planet, we can channel Reiki to nature as well, may be requesting it. But after that, how the Reiki flows and the depth to which it flows has nothing to do with the practitioner. It all has to do with the being that's receiving it. But in traditional Reiki, Hoeo Takata, it was a Japanese woman who was the last grandmaster of Reiki. She always said, we don't take credit for the results of the Reiki, because each person being does their own healing. Nobody can heal somebody else, but we can support them. But the practitioner can take credit for their ability to channel energy effectively without attachment, and to support the client through their own self-discovery process of understanding what's happening. And if a client would like more awareness around their own journey of healing, then through coaching or counseling as part of a Reiki session. But Reiki is always available to us. So the thing that I absolutely love about it is that we are becoming conscious that there's infinite energy in the universe for all of us. Everybody can benefit from receiving Reiki, and everybody can learn how to do Reiki either officially or just as a hobby on your own. Even if you don't learn the Reiki levels, you can start to place your hands on your body and imagine white light coming through and just breathe through it without intention. And you are channeling infinite universal energy or Reiki. And just very briefly, where does this energy come from? So my background is in Taoist macrobiotics, and so we understand energy from a yin and yang perspective. So Reiki is both yin and yang energy. It's the whole energy. We don't use polarity, and we don't think of it as yin and yang. It's just the whole energy coming through us. But basically, we live on the earth, and the earth pulsates and rotates and has different energies. There's a base resonance frequency of the earth. And the energy from the earth goes up and out. So we call that upward energy or yin energy or expansive energy. And then we walk on the earth and receive energy from outside of the earth. So everything outside of the earth is called yang or downward energy. And that comes down from an expanded state more into the center of our being. And we receive the yang energy and the upward yin energy in an alternating current that moves in a like an AC current, alternating current along the spine, the major vein in front of the spine, the inferior vena cava. So every time we do anything, we are accessing that yin yang alternating current, and just living, we're accessing it. It's our fundamental life force. So we don't have to stop and think to breathe. We don't have to stop and think to have our heartbeat, or we don't have to stop and think to make the peristaltic motion of our intestines work, because this alternating current of yin yang energy called Reiki is doing it for us. So that frees our mind so that we can do other things. And the freeing of the intellect is an important aspect of Reiki. We just want to absorb the incoming energy like lying in the sun. So if you imagine lying in the sun, then you don't have to think about the sun. or believe in the sun for the sun to be effective. And even if you don't believe in the sun and you're out and about, let's say you're working outside or you're on a boat and you come in and you have a suntan or a sunburn, you're still being affected by the sun because you're part of the one energy of the universe. And so Reiki then is based on universal principles. It's not a belief system. If you believe that you'd like to heal, that supports your own process of healing, but you don't have to believe in it because it's based on these universal principles of nature. And many years ago, scientists determined that there were 100 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy, similar to our sun, and 100 billion galaxies. Our Milky Way galaxy is one of the smallest ones in the universe, in this universe, and there are universes expanding and contracting around us. So each of us has a minimal, I think they say it's 4 times the amount now that they can measure with their equipment. But each of us has minimal 100 billion times 100 billion sources of energy. That's infinite energy that we can access, or that we are accessing. But when we're conscious of channeling it, then we really have limitless potential to create more energy, to heal, and to live the life that we truly desire. So that's a little bit about what Reiki is and how it works.
Oh, wow. That was an incredible explanation of it. It was just, I love it's just channeling the energy and the infinite universal energy. And it all is about the body, mind, and spirit and the flow and function of energy through our body. And when you said that at the end about 100 billion times 100 billion energy, our body is just energy. There's just energy everywhere. I did not realize it was that much energy. That is just absolutely incredible. I love that. And how it can work on nature, on animals, and on humans. It's it's just got so many possibilities. There's no end to the possibilities of how to channel the energy through Reiki in all different ways. So, oh, that was great, Lidia. Those were just a few of the golden nuggets I picked up from there. So I will just let you continue on if you would like.
Absolutely. And so the reason I like to give that foundation is the understanding that Reiki is not a belief system, that it's our ability to access the energy that's already moving through us, but at a higher capacity, helps us understand the great potential for Reiki for deep healing. And so many people are familiar with Reiki for relaxation and for general balancing, which is fantastic. And I use Reiki for that in my professional practice to help clients with their own growth and personal development. But I was called in my early days, and for most of the last 20 years or more in professional practice, to support clients with very serious health conditions. So I was often sent clients like myself who had tried, quote unquote, almost everything. And I support everyone's path, their journey to their own healing and personal development. And sometimes we go through a lot of different modalities that are effective, but may not go deep enough for your condition. And there may be side effects that people experience from medical procedures that need to really be balanced and addressed in the body. And so this is where Reiki comes in. Reiki for deep healing can really help us with any health condition, but also in those cases where there seem to be no more options and or very difficult, challenging states and diagnoses. And so when I was born with deformed organs, and it was very difficult for doctors to understand how to treat that. And eventually, I went through lots of medical, I went through lots of holistic modalities, and they all helped to some degree. But then I had dreams guiding me to do Reiki. And then I had dreams showing me that I had energy going through my body and white light coming out through my hands. And then dreams that there were all these people walking up a mountain hill carrying these wagons, pulling these wagons of heavy stones. And I knew that was the burden, of their health conditions. So when we do Reiki for deeper healing, well, with Reiki, we're always adding energy deep into the cells in the body. So just as you said, that we're energy. So the first universal principle is everything is energy. And so every cell in our body is an energy center. So for the body to detoxify and repair, it needs energy. So when we add energy, add Reiki, like lying in the sun, it's like a big river coming into your river. So of energy. So let's say you have a stone in your riverbed. It could be physical, mental, emotional. Let's say there's stagnation in your riverbed and doesn't have the life force to discharge and cleanse itself anymore. And so things just start to accumulate and stagnate more and more. When we add Reiki, it's like a big river, a big, powerful river coming from a mountain flowing into your river at the bottom of the mountain. And it will help to cleanse and strengthen your river in your own time and in your own way. So when I work with clients, for example, with a tumor, I don't say I am dissolving that tumor. I stay very centered, connected, and conscious without attachment. I'm a clear channel for the river of Reiki coming through, like water through a pipe. And I have empty mind and I let that energy flow through. And then, as I was saying earlier, that person or being will absorb as much energy as they need because I'm a strong pipeline that can hold a high capacity of energy, that can channel energy. And then the body, mind, spirit decides how to proceed. But Reiki for deep healing is really quite phenomenal. So the protocol that we use is based on Hueo Takada's protocol, the last Grand Master of Reiki, where you do Reiki longer sessions back to back and over a longer period of time for weeks or 2 to 4 months. So when someone has tried Reiki and they feel a calling to do it more, or they're feeling the benefits, then we proceed maybe from one session to maybe 2 or 3 sessions a week. And then for those who want to do really deep healing, we do it 5 to 7 days a week and sometimes twice a day. And with that type of deep healing protocol, there is the greatest potential for deep transformation and very, very deep healing. Again, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And so I've worked with clients who've had a month to live, 6 months to live, a year to live, and they tried conventional medicine, which helped them to a certain point, and other modalities. But in my personal healing experience and in my professional experience, Reiki added in a cumulative, Reiki's cumulative. So just as an aside, so when that river comes off the mountain, let's say, into you, if you have one session, it gets your river flowing. But if you add that river of Reiki repeatedly for longer periods of time, then it gives your energy field, your body, the opportunity to discharge that stone, let's say, and release it, and then allow more continual flow of energy. And so when we do Reiki for deep healing, this is the type of protocol, minimal once a week, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, ideally 5 to 7 times a week or more. And then that gives the body and the mind, the energy field, an opportunity to reach its potential to heal itself, to cleanse and strengthen every cell in the body. And as we all know, as above, so below, so the yin and the yang. So as we cleanse and strengthen every cell in our body, this will help us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And the results are phenomenal, not just through my work, but around the world. So people's tumors may dissolve. They may release belief systems quite easily that were holding them back. Oftentimes when I work with a client, for example, with cancer, let's say, and they come to see me for cancer, sometimes they'll just start, having ease in their relationships, or they'll start to reflect on their life, and it all is a natural process. The beauty of Reiki is you return to your whole state naturally in your own time and in your own way. So each person on the planet has access to this energy. And again, I said whether you give it to yourself without an attunement, without learning Reiki, and just place your hands and imagine a white light, or you learn Reiki for yourself, or you work with an experienced practitioner, the energy is there for each of us to utilize and to help us live our potential.
Oh, Lydia. Oh my goodness. That was really beautiful. I love how it goes deep into the cells, and every cell is an energy center. So, oh my goodness, all the cells we have in our body, just imagine them as an energy center is what my mind was thinking. And I love that explanation of the river, because I could just see a beautiful mountain stream or a river like that flowing, and how the Reiki is helping to cleanse it and be in a river of Reiki, and just how the energy flows through that. And you are just a channel for this energy as a strong pipeline. So, oh, yes, that was all incredible information on how Reiki can do deep healing. And I'll just briefly share the experience I've had with one of my mare. She has had some challenges with some ligaments in her legs, where she would be a little bit, she'd be sore. You could tell she wasn't moving and freely, because she is a very free mover. She loves to move. And after the first Reiki session, it took her kind of a couple days. I could just see her movement increasing daily. And then she had another one here within the last month. And oh my, right after that one, when I turned her out in her turnout area, she took off at a lope and just kind of jumped. And she hadn't done that for weeks. So it is just amazing when you witness it like that. And I have with my mare, and it's a beautiful experience, because I know how she is feeling, and she's getting that free movement back. And that was just an experience, how she took that energy and what she did with it in her mind, body, and spirit. So, oh, Lydia, this has just been absolutely incredible. I just love everything you have said about how Reiki goes. And you've explained it so our listeners can understand what Reiki really is. And that is what is so beautiful.
Well, thank you. And I love the story about your mare. Reiki is a process. So we're not, I don't know when I share Reiki with someone or another spiritual being what their exact process will be. I mean, if we have to do deeper healing, sometimes it can take a bit longer to see results. But sometimes we see the results right away, like you're saying with your mare. And did your mare receive long distance Reiki?
Yes, it was long distance Reiki. It was not hands on. And that's what to me, was so amazing, because I knew about Reiki, but I didn't know how it would work hands on. And I didn't know all the details, how it would work, I mean, remotely like that. And so, yeah, it was done remote. And the other thing that was so interesting was when she was having her session done, how calm the other horses were. Because I have one that he's a little more high strung, and he was just so relaxed and just calm as could be. It was like it was flowing through all of them. And that was so beautiful too.
Well, that's because we're all one energy field, right?
Hmm.
And when we're sending the Reiki to a specific person or animal, then it may flow to others who may need it. In long distance Reiki, one of the principles when we send Reiki, if we're not sure, for example, sometimes we're not sure if the person or the animal wants to receive, so we ask permission. But sometimes my students will say, well, I wasn't sure if I had permission or not. I mean, of course, you have permission if somebody asks you to do it for your horse or something, right? But we always ask permission from the higher self. But if the practitioner isn't sure, then we say, may this energy be received by whoever or whatever needs it.
Yeah.
And this is why when we channel Reiki to animals, especially who are in a very collective energy field, they may all benefit. I've seen it myself when I do my hands-on Reiki with my horses. Sometimes if they're laying down, I'll lay down and do Reiki with one horse, and then the other horses will come around or stand close by and go into a trance or fall asleep. I used to have one horse who used to come and put his nose on my crown chakra
Oh.
during during the Reiki sessions. But it's not a belief system. And as I said, believing and wanting to heal will enhance your healing potential, but it's based on these principles of you might say physics or yin and yang.
Mhm.
And this is why it's so effective and why it's spread around the world. And so when I share Reiki with someone or something, either long distance or hands-on, I literally feel the frequency against my palm. So just like you would put your hand in the freezer and you feel cold against your palm, I would feel that long distance as well. And if there's heat or a sharp energy, I feel it as if you would put your hand in the oven. So I give feedback to clients based on the energy that I feel. And I'm very conscious not to influence their own karmic, healing journey. We want each
Mhm.
person and being to be empowered. And Reiki is just perfect for that because we're adding the energy without attachment. And then we talk about what I felt energetically, and I give feedback and progress to clients on that. And then they give me their experience and their feedback. And then if somebody would like more support, then we integrate it into holistic coaching sessions. And that's what my aponahealing method is a combination of Reiki sessions, holistic coaching, and if somebody wants to include healing foods, we can add that in as well. But we'll save the healing foods for another episode.
Yes. Oh, oh, perfect. Oh, Lydia. And I loved how you ended that because my next question was going to be, will you please return to Robust Lifestyles in 2024 and share more of your knowledge with our listeners? I would love to have you back on.
Oh, I would be honored to, Joyce. I absolutely love being on your show. Your show is changing the world, bringing light and awareness, and healing and support to all of us. And as we work as a collective, then there's greater opportunity for us individually and as the planet to all move into the light, and live a higher quality life with love and compassion and commitment, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Oh, I'm so excited you will be returning it. Oh, thank you so much because I love having you on too, Lydia. And this show has gone so quickly, like I knew it would. And before we close, would you please share with our listeners the best way to connect with you?
Sure, my website, aponahealing.com, and I'm still integrating my other websites into aponahealing.com. But to learn about Reiki, you could go to aponahealingmethod.com. And I have a little video there and some testimonials, some description of Reiki. And then I also offer a free ebook on aponahealing.com, 10 tools to survive and thrive in uncertain times, how to manage your stress and connect with your inner power. And so we have a newsletter and we have all sorts of wonderful information to support you and recipes as well. And also my personal Facebook page, Lidia Kuleshnyk.
Oh, thank you so much, Lydia. I so appreciate that also. And thank you so much for being my guest on Robust Lifestyle and for this absolutely magical show. And with that, I want to wish you magic in each and every day that follows you until we connect again in 2024.
Why, thank you, Joyce. Same to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I would like to thank all of our listeners for listening to this absolutely magical show with our incredible diva, Lydia, Lady Apona. And you heard she will be back in 2024 to share more of her wisdom and knowledge. Please share this show with your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. And remember about Reiki, it's about channeling in their energy, the infinite universal energy. And I just love how she said it can be used in nature, on animals, and on humans. So it has so much potential. And the deep healing goes deep into the cells and how every cell is an energy center. And with that, I want to wish each of you a very magical day. And remember to be kind to all. And one more item I would like to tell you about is our founder, Candace Gish, has created a book called Podcast Journal, where you may keep track of all these wonderful podcasts that you listen to on all the different platforms. You can take notes, you can write it down what it was about, where you watched it, and the date you watched it. And it is just an incredible way to keep track of all of the podcasts, and that's called Podcast Journal. You may find it on Amazon and Absolute Love Publishing. What a beautiful gift to yourself and others. And with that, give your animals a great big extra hug. Share all your love with them as they so deserve it. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.